Yeah. So today I want to talk about my journey of being a Chicano rap listener, right? So growing up, I was real biased with the music I liked. I normally kind of went towards West Coast gangster rap, right? So when Chicano rap first came out, the first thing I heard, of course, was "This is for la raza," doom, 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 right? So I was like, hell yeah, that shit's fucking tight. Kid Frost, right? That was the first thing I heard. I thought that was really dope. So I would bump that. And there was also the same time, right? I think it was 1990. Tony G from the city of Monte. Much love, Tony G. He actually produced La Raza, and he produced another track by Mellow Man Ace, Mentirosa. Those are both produced by Tony G. All right, mixed master Tony G. So I was a fan of both of those. A lot of people don't really consider the second one, Mentirosa, really a Chicano rap track, but it did sound familiar to what I was used to hearing and shit like that, right? So I like those tracks. Around the same time, that's when Lighter Shade of Brown came on the scene. And Sunday Afternoon, Homeboys, what else did they have? They had that Latin Activity, Hey DJ, keep playing that song. Not at first though. I think the first one was the Sunday Afternoon, right? And I was like, oh, that's just pretty tight. Chicano rap continued to evolve and started losing me a little bit because I was a hard head, right? So I was kind of like, I didn't want to hear about other people's barrios. And I think it was weird because looking back, it was really strange because I could listen to other people talk about like the hoods they grew up in, but if you talked about your neighborhood, like it's like your gang, I would just be like, man, I don't want to hear that, right? Like I only want to hear about my neighborhood, or I don't want to hear or make it like so that other people could relate to it, because I couldn't relate to it. But I did like a few songs from Proper Dos. I thought Proper Dos was real tight. They had this one song called Firme Jaina, which I was like, okay, all right, it was cool. But then they had another one called You're No Good, which is kind of and they even mention Firme Jaina on that one. Did you find a Firme Jaina, Mr. Proper Dos? Shale, I never even came close. That beat was the shit. I was like, oh fuck yeah. Cutie pie, you're the reason why I don't trust, cause a lot of them lie, right? And I was like, damn man, that was real tight. So I like that. I think that was about 95 if I remember correctly. That same year, there was another album that was dropped that I really, really enjoyed. And that was Frost, Smile Now, Die Later. Which was released off of Ruthless Records. I can only imagine if Easy were alive, how much more the album could have did. It had two singles that were really big on the radio here in LA at the time. Eastside Rendezvous featuring ALT, who's actually also from Monte. And they had Mi Familia, it's a family affair. I had those. So I bought the album. This is one of the albums I bought. I was really looking forward to it. And honestly, I am kind of sad that, because I think this album could have really made a lot of noise had Easy still been alive, had the proper backing, maybe even throw some Bone Thugs on there, other Ruthless artists on there. Who knows what it could have done. But I thought those two songs were dope. I bought the album. I haven't listened to the album in years, but I remember those three songs that I liked a lot. It was Mi Familia, which was a single, Eastside Rendezvous, which was a single, and Pancho Villa. Bam, see ya, wouldn't wanna be ya, blasting on fools like Pancho Villa. And I thought that was tight, like, oh hell yeah. So I thought those were dope, right? But again, if you look here, like, there were only certain artists I was bumping, because a lot of it was kind of like gangbanging to a point. And then I seen these artists right here, and it's the Mexicans. Man, they had dropped an album before, which kind of slept on, but this one, their self-titled album, which is their second album, was the shit. Exhibit was on there, Chino Excel was on there, you had just dope ass beats. I'm having problems with the Aldebar sample. The samples they chose were dope. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. They have that. They have a lot of different samples on there that are really, really tight. The way they put the album together, I was like, damn, this is a dope ass fucking album, man. To this day, I still bump this shit because I think it's that fucking dope. So this was a group that I really, really enjoyed, and the reason I found them was because I had a uncle, my uncle Mario. He used to have a CD collection, and he had a lot of different CDs that I wasn't really fucking with at the time. He had Reasonable Doubt. What else? He had Illmatic, and I wasn't big on East Coast rap. He had all the Wu-Tang albums. He had a lot of West Coast shit too. Spice One. He had MC8, Compton's Most Wanted. He had a big ass collection. So sometimes I'd go over there, peep out his collection, right? And when I went in his room one day to check out the collection, because he lived next door to me, I looked and he had a flag that said, it was a triangle black flag with white letters that said the Mexicans. And I was like, who are the Mexicans? He's like, oh, they're dope, check them out. I checked them out and I was like, oh, these motherfuckers are dope. It was unlike anything I had ever heard before. Maybe because I don't listen to East Coast rap, right? Or I didn't at the time. So for me, I was just like, whoa, like this is really, really dope. So that was a group that kind of changed my mind and made me think like maybe I should give more people a chance. Unfortunately, I got heavier into gangbanging and stuff, and I didn't really have a chance to hear a lot of other cats. We were out there on the streets and shit, right? And a homie, right before I went to YA, there was homies from my neighborhood that were trying to rap. One of them was a Feisty Two Guns. I remember he used to chill with my primo all the time. My primo used to live on, I forgot the name of the streets, but it's in South del Monte. He lived right there. Feisty lived on the next street, him and Frosty, and they used to record over there. And I was thinking about connecting with them, seeing if I can get some shit going, right? But it didn't happen. I ended up going to YA. So I ended up going to YA. When I got out, I seen he was doing it. He really stuck to it. He was doing it and shit, right? But when I was in YA, you didn't get to hear a lot of music, right? But until they had that radio show on, Pocos Pero Locos, and you got to hear the different artists they had on there. They had a lot of different dope artists, and they had I believe it was a full hour at first, and I think it was 2 hours. So Pocos Pero Locos, some of it though I wasn't really vibing with. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it I was like, I don't know, man. But some of it was pretty tight, and I was like, yes. I wonder what happened to them. I don't know, but it was a trip, man. And one song that I heard on there that was like, oh, that shit is pretty tight. That shit was gangster too. Was a song called Brown Love, and it was Old Town Mafia, right? They mentioned my neighborhood. That's probably why too. I was like, oh, that shit's feeding me. That's a feeding mass all out right there, because they mentioned my neighborhood. They mentioned a lot of different neighborhoods and shit. So that to me was like, oh shit, that's just gang banging, but at the same time they're showing love to other neighborhoods, which is kind of relatable. I think at the time too it was really relatable, because it wasn't just me and my homies. I was in YA with a gang of homies, so I kind of related to that, because it's like, hell yeah, I got boys from all kinds of different neighborhoods, right? Homies from Colonia Chiques, homies from Mountain View, homies from all over California, right? San Diego. So I was like, yeah, like it's not just Monte, it's not just LA County, it's homies from all over the place. So I kind of vibed with that track, right? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, that's just tight. But I got out. By the time I got out, Old Town Mafia, Slow Pain, they had or I don't think Slow Pain, I think it was somebody else, but they had released Gangsters Only with Sal Capone's album. I don't know how big it was in other areas, but in Monte, that shit was huge. The homie Sal was doing his thing, much like the homie Sal Capone. He was doing his thing, and he was saying things that we knew. I had just got a YA, maybe about a few months before my homie Drugsy passed away. Sal, shouts out Drogas, rest in peace. Homie Little Sins, rest in peace, used to always bump this album right here. And he would always laugh because he's like 10 feet behind us, little one canton. And he was like, man, I never seen 10 feet behind us there. Much less the homie little one, man. But I don't know. That's what he would say. And we thought it was cool though. Homie was doing his thing, man. Much less the Sal Capone. That shit was banging. So I said I'm gonna try to rap, right? Like I always liked to rap. Back in the day, my homegirl, Trustless. She ended up being from Sastre. I ended up being from Flores. But when we were kids, we used to hang out and we used to record and shit. So that's how I started recording. So I was looking for different areas to record, right? And at the time, Cell Block ENT was popping. As you see the flyers everywhere, by the Tommy Apartments, everywhere. Much love to Wiki Willie. I ended up being from Cell Block Entertainment. Now that's the label I put all my music out through. So it was a trip though. So I started looking around my area, right? Who could I find to help me get my feet off the ground when it comes to rapping and shit? And the homie that embraced me was homie Big Crime, also from my neighborhood. Big Crime, he was part of the Hard Heads. The Hard Heads was a mixture of different homies from different areas. I think Monte and Baldwin Park, Redwood, Herb Daily, the homie Drastic from the Dope Mob. You had a gang of different homies getting together and making the Hard Heads. And it was Big Crime that showed me how to actually write a jam, you know, like the hooks, all that, right? So he ended up putting out an album with Spanky Loco, 310 West. They put out an album right there. So that was a trip, right? So from there I started doing my own thing, collaborating. Once I knew how to make songs, I started collaborating with homies like Shady Boy, who was a little younger than me at the time, but he was coming around doing his thing. Uncle Jess, James the Just, Big Silencer. They were all in Monte, Godforsaken, who really helped inspire me to change the way I write rhymes too. Going from I was kind of a more cartoonish violence, cartoonish like sex kind of shit, right? Change it to a more realistic approach because I like the way he was doing things. So I said I can use my voice to tell my story the way kind of similar to the way he does. So even though we're very, very different artists, he did inspire me a lot. So much love to Godforsaken, right? And then from there I started listening for other things, right? See what else was on there. We started going to a club called the Airliner, doing something called Urban Underground Weekly. You had a lot of dope artists go through there. A lot of dope artists. You had cats from the Cola Crew, some of which were Chicano. You had Sick Family Tree. You had a number of different artists go through there, and you could find a lot of dope artists to collab with and even listen to there. On the radio side though, you had Chicanos, I think, going a little bit more mainstream, where you had like MC Magic, you had Frankie J, Baby Bash, making more commercial type music for a broader appeal, which is dope. We needed that, you know what I mean? And they had shit going like that, and so I think a lot of that was kind of inspired too by Focus for the Locals having certain things like Night Owls, that girl, I love with a thug, I love with a gangster. So you know, I think they just took it to different heights. So yeah, so that it was cool though, you know what I mean? Like, I can't hate on this shit, but at the time I was like, dog, I wasn't really listening to it because I wasn't trying to listen to commercial kind of music like that, right? Now I could appreciate it, but back then I was like, I don't know about this, man. But on the other hand, you had this album right here, The Legend of the Mask and the Assassin. I was not big on Psycho Round. I didn't give him a chance, but I seen this shit posted everywhere, and I was like, I gotta hear it. I gotta listen to this, right? Gave it a listen. It was fucking amazing. I went back into his catalog, went back into the different things that Sick Jackin' that he had released, and I was like, man, I was sleeping on him. Just like a lot of other people I felt were sleeping on the Mexicans, I was sleeping on Psycho Realm and Sick Jackin'. So yeah, I still go back and like listen to his shit like, damn, this fool is fucking dope. And him and DJ Muggs put together a dope ass album. So that kind of let me know like, oh, there's a lot of shit that's out there, right? And Chicano Rap started evolving. One cat that I really fuck with is King Little G. I really like how he tells, like I was saying earlier, going back to the Godforsaken stuff, he's able to tell his story in a way that's kind of, I think at first when people told their stories, especially early on in hip hop, it was a way where you kind of seen it was them, but when King Little G tells a story sometimes, it feels like it's our story, if that makes any sense. And that's kind of the way I feel like. So that's why I'm like, I really fuck with King Little G. I think that he is dope as fuck. May not be the most technical rhymer out there, right? But he is still fucking dope. Like really dope. So I fuck with King Little G. And he eventually ended up signing my homeboy, Trippy G. That's my dog right there. That's a little homie right there. Not even a little homie. He's younger than me, yeah, but he's a grown ass man now. But it's crazy. I still remember when he was a kid. You know what I mean? But it's a trip, man, because Chicano Rap has come a long way, and I'm definitely a fan. And now I have the opportunity to go back and look at the artists that I kind of overlooked for one reason or another, right? So that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Is I was very biased and narrow with the Chicano Rap that I listened to, but I do want to expand that and go into other people. A few people that I left off here that I didn't really get into, but I did appreciate their music, but I didn't get into a lot of it though. Was MC Shadow, Night Owl, and when we did the Night Owl thing, I couldn't believe how many songs I actually liked from Night Owl that I forgot about. Like, oh shit, I forgot this song. Shit, may he rest in peace. You know what I mean? Little Rob, I was never really big into Little Rob, but I'm not gonna lie, I did earn an appreciation for him when he put out that song Neighborhood Music, because he let me kind of see like there's a reason why he makes the music he makes, and I can respect that. So there's a lot of music that I still need to get into. I know there's people talk about different rappers that I haven't. Crazy Race is another one. Crazy Race is dope as fuck, right? Crazy Race is skilled on the mic, and he drops shit that's different, like way different. So there's a lot of cats out there that I may have missed that are dope as fuck. ARS Rhymes. You also have just a lot of different cats out there, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the Dope Mob. But it's dope because music never goes away. So I still have a chance to listen up for them. And if you guys have any mentions or anything you think I should be listening to or I should give a chance to, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Let me know. I definitely want to explore more and get deeper into Chicano Rap. I want to widen my horizons, I should say, when it comes to what I listen to in Chicano Rap. So yeah, so that's my journey into it. Much love to the Nasty Crew. Much love to my white babies. And with that, we out. Peace.